Hi, resilient champions. You are welcome to today's live stream. I hope you I hope you had a very beautiful weekend and that you started the week productively and you are ready for a productive week ahead. It is always a pleasure to have you, and in today's live we are going to discuss on the importance of recognizing that you are enough, the importance of recognizing your self worth and of treating you like someone you love. And so, we are going to be discussing and sharing about loving yourself, accepting you just the way you are, and why it is important for you to recognize that you are enough. Many wonderful people. Hi, Bouger. Muy buen día, Wapa. I wanted to say buenos dias. I don't know if it's buenas tardes where you are, but muy buen día. I'm happy that you are here. Thank you for coming. I hope you had a very nice weekend and then you are ready for a productive week ahead. So today I want us to discuss about how important it is to recognize that you are enough. Recognize your self worth and treat yourself like someone you love. And I was saying that many wonderful people go around thinking that they are not worthy, feeling insignificant and troubled with sadness just because they think that they are not worthy. Meanwhile, when you recognize that you are good enough or that you are just enough where you are, it really helps you to, first of all, it is true bravery for you to really just recognize it. And then, secondly, it builds your self confidence tremendously because you know that you are worthy. You don't need anybody, you don't need people to tell you, you don't need people to validate you. You just recognize and accept that you are worthy the way you are and that you are enough. So let's go back to the chat. I want to welcome the champ himself, Tay Wizzy. I hope you're doing fine. Hi, Nikki. You're welcome. I hope you had a very beautiful weekend. Hey, last week's journey. Thank you, all my beautiful sisters and the champ, Tay Wizzy. Thank you all for coming. I greatly appreciate you. You could have been somewhere else doing other things, but you are here, and it is a good day to just talk about accepting the fact and recognizing the fact that you are enough. And so today's topic is just because a lot of people are feeling insignificant and they are feeling that they are not as worthy as some famous people because they think that they are not enough and they think that they are not even worthy of abundance, of happiness. They are not even worthy of life. And that's why I thought that today we can discuss this topic because it is something that a lot of people are fighting against. Absolutely, Nikki. We had better lift up ourselves. We might pass out waiting on others to say it. That is very, very important because most often we wait that other people should validate us. Meanwhile, it is our job to first validate us. And like the experts say, people treat you the way you want to be treated. So if you don't give yourself value, people will not give you value. Well, once you accept and recognize that you have value and that you are enough just the way you are, people will just not have anything to profit from your insecurities. And we all have insecurities. That is really something that is normal. We have insecurities, but when you recognize that you are enough, every little thing that makes you fear or think that people will judge you or not give you value, you can have that under control. Because why? You are self-confident. Some people who recognize that they are enough are self-confident people because they know their self-worth. And once you know your self-worth, you are enough and you are just where you are supposed to be. Hi, boss. You're welcome. That's my coach. It's always a pleasure, boss, to have you in the live stream. Thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you for being my coach and my mentor. And for everybody in the chat, if you don't have boss life online, please, she is the person that is making me, bringing out the best in me. Connect with her and you are having your time, you have the best of your time. So today I really wanted to talk about the importance of recognizing that you are enough, because that is the foundation for your self-worth and your self-confidence. If you want to build self-confidence, you have to recognize the abilities that you have. And if you want to recognize the abilities that you have to recognize that you are enough. And you have to recognize that you have everything and that everything that you need is within you. And why is mindset always said to be the most important thing in you recognizing that you are enough? They say mindset is everything. This is simply because most of the limiting beliefs that we have are self-imposed. We just think within us that we are not good enough, and then we carry it around. And when they say it is a limiting belief, I can assure you from my own experience, most of the limiting beliefs that I had, most of the things that were limiting me from growing were self-imposed. It's true that society expects a lot of things, but also when you don't know how to handle them, when you also integrate them, and it is so difficult when you are your own obstacle. Because if you don't move out of your own way, it is really difficult for you to grow. And so it is so important. Recognize your worth, because don't be part of all those many wonderful people walking around feeling insignificant, feeling so troubled and so sad just because they think that they are not enough. They think that they are not worthy of even living. They think that they are not worthy of abundance. They think that they are not worthy of happiness. It is in the mind. It is a limiting belief. And that is why they always say it is your job to find the things that will make you feel that you are enough, and to find the things that make you to just accept that you are good where you are and that everything that you need is within you. When you come from that perspective, working on you now becomes easy, because you know that the more you work on yourself, the better you will become. And also, every day you are learning something new. You are learning something new about you, because every time we are challenged, we learn how resilient we are. We learn how powerful we are. We learn how intelligent we are. We learn that we are capable of solving a lot of problems just because we were challenged and we had to dig deep to find answers. So I am really so blessed with all these wonderful people in the chat. I've put the link there. If anyone wants to come to share your thoughts about the topic, you are so welcome, because this is something that is we need to work on ourselves every time, and then recognize that it is your job. That is your first responsibility. You are your first responsibility, because whatever you become, that is what you're going to give out. And then you have to ask yourself, what do I want to give out? What kind of value do I want to give? What kind of value do I want to bring? And we have to really always think about what we are, what we can bring, what we have, because it is always so easy for us to lift others up. We always lift others up. We'll tell them, oh, you're a nice person, you are, but you don't tell yourself that, Mary, you are a nice person. I have to start by telling myself, Mary, you are a nice person. And then when you know that you are a nice person, it's easier for you to give niceness, because you give what you are thinking. And yes, Nikki, what should I give? What should I give within my capabilities, and knowing that it brings value to the person I'm giving it to? Not that the person will give you the same value, but just that you are a good person. You want to bring value, and you want people to know that it is good and much easier when you are nice and when you're bringing value. And yours truly, I am sharing all of this to show you that most of the time, the difficulties or the challenges that we have is what helps us to become successful. Because why? Once you are challenged, you don't want to remain there. You find a way to go out of it. And once you start finding a way, most often you only have to dig deep within you and you will find the answers. And that's why they say mindset is everything. Because why? Because most of the things that are limiting us are in our minds, and they are self-imposed. And that is why it is your responsibility to recognize that you are enough, that you have everything it takes, and that you just need to work on you to get the things that you need to be an amazing, abundant, and fulfilled person. So before I continue, let's go back to the chat. I want to recognize Design with Emma. Sis, you are so welcome. I'm happy that you're here. Joshua, you're welcome. And we also have a Broken Gardening. You are welcome. Hey, sis, thank you so much for your support. Thanks for the blessings. Our blessings accepted. I also send you blessings. Hi, Yaya. You are so welcome. It is always a pleasure to have you around. Happy anniversary. You are doing a marvelous job with Tim. I celebrate you too. Continue to enjoy more beautiful years ahead. Emma says, I give time to senior citizens to see them smile and happy, just to have someone show them attention. That is absolutely important, because sometimes we don't measure the power of just giving attention to somebody. Some people really, they don't have anyone to show them attention, and then you give time to show attention to people, to see them smile and happy. It is something that is priceless. And you cannot imagine. At first, I don't like, I don't like dogs. Nikki, I know that you love dogs. Not that I don't like dogs. I don't have patience to really take care of dogs and stuff. So I used to like, oh, people are just wasting time having dogs when I was growing up. But as I grew up and I became uh, more vigilant, and I became more understanding of life and what life is and how people are living. I finally realized that most of those people who have their pets, the only people that they have to interact with is their pets. And so the dogs for them is like family member, it's their own people that make them, or it's their own thing that make them really smile and happy. And they spend time talking, because sometimes you say people are talking with animals and you think that, but yours truly, and that's the beauty of growing up, because you understand so many things, and then you don't judge people. I used to just like, oh, really, they are wasting time. Somebody will finish cooking and they are cooking for the dog or they are cooking for the cat. But yours truly, I really commend those people who decide to find something to keep them happy and to keep them smiling, and something to talk with, something to even just interact with, because loneliness is a real issue. It's not a joke. People are lonely, and people are really, really, really needing someone just to recognize them, just to give them attention. And that's why they say, when you see somebody without a smile, give them one of yours. You don't know how many lives you can save just with a smile. So thank you, Emma, for your service. Yes, yeah, yeah, well deserved. Everybody is talking to everybody. And yours truly, Nikki, my mother, I will tell you, my mother has always had dogs. But you know, keeping a dog in Africa is something different from keeping a dog here, because in Africa we don't need to walk your dog or stuff, because the dog, when my mother is going to the farm, because I come from agri parents, we do a lot of agriculture. When my mother is going to the farm and they go on foot, we are walking because it's all hills. She's walking around with her dog. So she has always had a dog. Even my brothers always have dog and stuff. Me, I don't have any problem with that. It's just that I am not patient living out of the village to walk a dog and cook for a dog and all of that. But for each their own. Patience is not my biggest virtue. I really celebrate those people who are patient and who have found, because the animals, if you know the company that they keep and the problem that they solve, once I understood that, I now had a different mindset, and I really celebrate you all. When you see Nikki with her dogs, you say, wow, she has a good time with them, and she's talking and playing with them. The dogs are playing out of there. I really celebrate you. I can't do that, but I celebrate the people who can do that. My mother does it. She did it because at that time when we were growing up, when mom would say you go cook for the dog, it's like you having punishment. You say, really? Am I now supposed to go start cooking for a dog? But the dog has to eat. We have to take care of it. You have to take care of the things and the people around you, so in order to receive the care too. So Nikki, I commend you. You are taking good care of your dogs. You are having a good time. It is good. It is okay. I am no longer judging anybody. I am just celebrating everybody who is finding their own creative ways to be happy. And that is what comes with when you recognize your self-worth, and when you recognize and treat yourself like the person that you love. You find all the good things that make you happy, and all, like, you think of what will you give to your lover, and then you start by giving them to yourself. Yes, love to everyone. Okay, that's okay. Thank you. Hi, Cocoa Butter, Barbie, you're welcome. Yes, Emma, that is so true. They are family, and a lot of them, that's all they have. I understood that, and I felt so ashamed at the times that I had judged people because they were paying a lot of attention to their dogs or their cats or their pets. It is you have to understand that everybody have their journey. Everybody is finding ways to just be happy, and that is so true. But I stopped judging people. That's a long time ago. I'm just saying this is what used to happen when I was still really a little girl growing up. And for me, I used to really don't like it because I didn't like when mom would tell me to go cook for the dog. And that was my own way of rebelling. But like I said, as I grew up and understood the realities of life, I really understood why it was so important for people to have all those animals, to have the pets, because sometimes that is the only thing that you have. And I'm celebrating them because you are being creative. And drum roll, who do we have in the house? My coach herself.
Hey everybody, I'm Geo Monroe of the Boss Life Online, Geo's blogs, and Team Build with Geo. It's just a pleasure to be anywhere on Coach Mary Ma's platform. She is awesome. And this is such a great topic, Mary. I'm really enjoying it. I don't know. I just had to come up and just say, you go, girl. And I see that you are growing so fast now. And that is just so great. And I thank God for putting you in my life. So, do you want me to speak on the topic?
Anything you want, if you want to give advice for the people who are coming now. Boss Life is one of my coaches, and like I say, she's the one who is helping to bring out the best in me. And so Boss Life is here. She is an accomplished business person. She is an accomplished mentor and coach. So if you have any questions for Boss, you can ask her. But also, Boss, you can discuss on anything, because the real thing that we are talking about today is to recognize that you are enough, and to recognize your self-worth, and to just acknowledge that everything that you need to be is in you.
Yeah. Um, for me, well, let me when I came over here and I saw this topic, I first of all, let me find. Oh, here I am. I wanted to. I went and I looked up what self worth. The definition, maybe, yeah, to self worth, because I remember when back in the day when I had lost my mom. I think I had lost a lot of things, or either the grief and the sadness was so great that it covered up everything. That's how I like to look at it. It wasn't until I went and broke down at work, actually crying and couldn't stop for hours and hours. And my supervisor just let me sit there, until I could, get myself together. And then they wouldn't let me come back to work because they said that I needed to go see a counselor. Child, let me tell y'all something. That was the best thing God did for me. Broke me down in front of all of my coworkers and sent my butt to a therapist to help me out. So let's talk about self-worth and how it applies to me, my story, because I can only tell you about me. I can only tell you about my story because I don't know your story. I would love to know your story, but I don't like to speak on nothing that I ain't been through. Okay, because see, I don't like to play with people's lives, you know,
Absolutely.
like people play with mine. I'm not into that. I speak my mind as you guys will get to know me, but I'm very loving and caring and compassionate.
Absolutely. I concur.
Yeah. Okay. It says here, unlike self esteem, self worth is an internal state of mind that comes from self acceptance, self love, and a strong understanding of yourself. Now, when this was brought to me like that by my therapist, sure, you think I know what she was talking about? No, because I did not know that I didn't know, because of everything I had been through, I did not know how to love myself again. It wasn't that I never loved myself again. I lost a lot of things when my mom passed because it was just too much for the girl. Okay, it was just, and it was the house she passed away. Okay, was just too much for the girl. Okay, so I just lost myself. I don't know if y'all can understand that, but I just lost myself. And so I had to find myself again. And like I said, God just came in, broke me down, put me in with a therapist. And the first time she started talking about self worth, I was like, self worth? What is that? I said, I don't understand what you mean. You're going to have to explain self worth to me. It is about, from what I got from my therapist and from what I've learned today, is that it is about just loving who you are, and being the best person you can be and not settling for just any old thing, whether it be a job, whether it be in a relationship, or friends in a relationship, or romantic like relationship. You have to know your self worth and what you will accept and what you won't accept. And today, honey, I know my self worth because, for one thing, I'm not desperate. Okay, when it comes to a romantic relationship, because I know who I am today and I know my self worth and I know what I can bring to the table. Okay, and that's a lot. I bring a lot. Okay, so if I get involved with a romantic relationship with a guy, trust me, he gonna have to bring the same thing, because I'm not accepting nothing less. Not today. Before, yes. And I would always make more money than the man I dated, and then I would be, oh, baby, not today. Because, see, God came in my life. He broke me down, put me with a therapist, gave me everything I have today, my self worth, my self love. And He said, now go tell it. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm paying it forward to what God has given to me. Okay? I don't know how many believers are in the chat or in the house in this building, but if you believe, just get on your knees and ask God to show you self-love. Put people in your life that really loves you for you, and then you love you for you. It starts with you. You have to stand in the front of the mirror like I did, which I thought was pretty stupid when she told me to do it. You know, she said, I want you to stand in the mirror and tell yourself you love yourself. Are you kidding me, woman? This was my first year in therapy, so it was a lot of things I come to believe. It wasn't that when I went there, I believed. I came to believe in these exercises. I came to believe back in Jesus Christ. And when I said I surrendered to God, that's when my life changed. That's when I knew I loved myself. So she told me to get in the front of the mirror and say, I love you, Gio. I love you, Gio. You are the best thing going. I will protect you. I'm not going to let nothing hurt you. I am the adult here, and I will protect that 17-year-old that got hurt. Okay. And as I'm saying that right now, I just feel so empowered, because I am the adult and I love me and I love that little girl that inside of me that had to watch her mama die. Okay. That's, with that is, when I say that I'm going to protect her, I mean that, because see, today I know my self worth.
Absolutely.
I'm not settling.
Absolutely. I'm so really happy because you this A lot of things that you said, but importantly, once you know your self-worth, you take back your power.
Right.
And what is more important, loving yourself is true bravery. And once you love yourself, no one can take control, no one can profit from your insecurities. And why is that so important? To find help when you need it, because they help you to open your eyes to the things that you already knew, but you didn't perceive them the way they will put it to you. And so I am so proud of myself and honored to be learning from you. I'm so proud to connect with you. By the way, I'm in the business of collecting good people, and I only connect with the best. Like all the people in the chat, you are such good people, just trying to build yourselves up. And we also acknowledge that sometimes, like I said, the things that happen to us open our minds. There's something that has to happen, bim, and then you take time to open your mind and think. Me too, God had to break me to get my total attention. I am a Christian, but I can tell you, if certain things did not happen to me, that I was really broken, I wouldn't be humble the way I am today. Not that I was a haughty person, I was humble, but really not humility the way I practice it today. And so sometimes we really need those things to break us. Is unfortunately yours was because mom passed away. Even as Christians, we know that someday people will pass away, the people that we love. It is not easy, but those things, they happen to build us. They
Right.
happen for us. And I am really happy that you used yours to become a better person. And today you are paying it forward. You are helping others, building other people up, and just helping people to be successful, to be their best
Right.
because of what you learned. Before we continue, let's recognize some people who are coming in. We have Simply Sarah, you are welcome. Good, Good Eats Homestead, you welcome. Hello, hello. Stacy, you are welcome. Hands in the dirt. Information girl, that's Marlene. You are welcome. Yes, thank you very much, Charlene. And everybody, please, if I didn't see you, charge it to my head and not to my heart. Good morning, Odom, so it's good afternoon. I just recognize everybody that is coming in, that is in the chat, and even those people who are going to watch the replay. You are very welcome. And I am so proud today to sit side by side with my coach and my mentor to talk about the importance of recognizing that you are enough, and the importance of taking your life into your hands and denying to be part of those so many wonderful people who go around feeling insignificant, unloved, and unhappy because they think that they are not good enough.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I wrote those lyrics that I play on my live stream every time I go live. I made it because I need to remind myself every day I am good enough. And that's part of the lyrics in that song. I'm good enough. What about you? You know, today I know I'm good enough to do whatever it is that I want to do. Why that I know that is because I am a precious child of God. So that
Absolutely.
makes me good enough to do whatever it is I need to do. It takes courage to make these changes. Okay.
Absolutely. And I am happy you really talked at length about the importance of self acceptance.
Yeah.
This is a big issue because every time we think you have to be in a certain way to fit, and then you spend your precious time trying to become somebody else, and it is so difficult when you are not just your authentic self.
Right. And I was not always this way, Mary. You know, it was a journey. These changes and stop doing the things that you used to do or the way that you used to think and all that. It come with time. You know, this was, and I still practice my tools on telling myself every day, thank you for waking me up, God. What can I do for you? You know what I'm saying? And then I go, I know who I am today. I'm a precious child of God. So that makes me good enough. See, I say these things all the time. And this is where my confidence comes from, my self-esteem, my self-worth. You know, you got to feed yourself positiveness. You got to tell yourself, I love you, Gio. I'm going to take care of you. You don't have to settle for anything. You have to really talk to yourself to accept yourself. Everybody is not the same, and everybody don't have the same gifts. I'm kind of quirky sometimes. Comedy, I like comedy. I like to do a lot of things. And I had to accept all of this self these things about myself. you know Things that I don't like how about my body, I still have to accept it. Now I can do something about it. you know and that's what I'm working on. But you just have to accept every part of you, and who you are, because that is your self-worth.
Absolutely. And I'm happy you said you are still working on yourself, because we are all becoming. Nobody is arriving perfection. It doesn't exist, but we are becoming better and better. And we recognize that every day we have to grow, to learn, to grow better and better. I told you that I am in the business of collecting good people. I am an anointed child of God. And so today I am graced with the most beautiful, intelligent, and successful women. And now I am proud to bring Yaya on stage. Hi, Yaya.
Hello, Coach Mary. How are you? Hi, Gio.
Hey.
I just had to pop up here. This is such an amazing, amazing conversation. And YouTube has so much positive access to people. Everything that Gio was saying, I'm just sitting here with y'all can see I'm still in my house robe, so I'm being real lazy today. Everything that Gio was saying is just kind of giving me the chills, because I feel like the majority of us have these experiences. We're all a product of our environment. Our parents do the best that they can do in raising us, you know. And I was raised with both of my parents. And I came up in a way that you come up in a certain way, but you still need growth when you become an adult. And everything that Gio said about, there are always going to be things in our life that is going to, God is going to put something before you to put you on that secure path that he really wants you to be on. As a child, we follow our parents, we do as they say, we have a good path. Then when you leave from your home, you're out there in this world that just is firing all kind of stuff at you, but we still got to grow. And sometimes we might take a path here, we on this branch or that one. He has to draw us back. And he makes things happen that, yeah, it may hurt us, because I've experienced some things, just what you guys are saying. And it's like, why me? Why me? Having them kind of little breakdowns and all that. I was sent to counseling as well. Generally, when you come up and you at work, I've had them some moments like that at work or whatever, and they always try to direct you to get some therapy or counseling. That woman asked me so many questions that led me to get to where I am today, to
Right.
make me feel good about me. You know what I'm saying? And to enjoy my life. It happens at this frame in your life. It can happen in the middle frame of your life. We're going to always, until the day we leave this earth, experience some things. But you ladies being up here and talking about this for all of the younger people, that's what brings the joy to me, because there's so many young ladies out there, the way the world is today. And I'll just say I came up in the 60s. So, the world was different then. But all of this stuff that's out there now, this is the kind of information that they need to hear. They need to hear that they are okay. And it's okay when we have some bad experiences.
Yeah.
My dad used to always say, hold your head up and keep putting one foot in front of the other. And my son, I have one son, and he reflects on that as an adult now to me all the time. And he's gone to therapy. And at first I felt like, well, I must have been, I was a horrible mother or whatever. No, it wasn't that. That was his experience. And he had to go to find his place in life.
Right.
And he came back to me and said to me, and made me, I got chills now, made me feel good. He's like, Mom, you did a good job. You did a really, really good job. I just had to find my place, what it was that I needed to do. That therapist asked him the right questions, that led him to be, he's a school teacher. He has a child, so anyway, I don't want to talk too much, but you guys are doing an amazing, this is an amazing live. And I hope those that are in the chat, if it's not for yourself, if you maybe you have a child, or you have a friend, or you have even a mom that needs some of this information, just, take it all in and share it all out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Yaya. Let me, before I continue, before I give the floor to Boss, I just want to acknowledge that when you know that you are enough, you they say you recognize your self-worth and you attract the most worthy people. And so we have, it's a Terence kind of thing. That's a star in the chat. We have another star coming up on stage. Today is a big blessing, and I am so honored. Thank you so much. Whoa, I am blushing to be surrounded by all the stars. I am thankful and I accept that I am enough. I am worthy of all the greatness that is in this panel today. Thank you all so much.
Oh, what I got from my therapist is tools to use. So when life throw me a curve, I don't have to react to it like I used to back then.
Right.
You know, and I sometimes I say to myself, "Oh, you didn't even act crazy." No, because God has come in my life and has changed it. And I don't even react to that crazy stuff like I used to and want to sock somebody and knock them out and cuss them out and cuss vanity is what I call it. I don't do those things anymore because when I left, I stayed in therapy for 5 years. I could have left in two, but I stayed for me. Okay. And I learned so many ways how to handle life and what happens when this happens. I have great friends around me, Coach Mary Ma, Marlene, who's up here on the panel now. I have my family, my family wasn't even in therapy. They didn't know nothing. We was all dysfunctional. But see, God picked me. And I'm like, thank you now. But at first I used to say, why me? But today I know why me, because he gave me the gift of talkativeness or the gift of gab. Because he knew that I wasn't going to sit here and not tell y'all or share with you what I've been through and how I made it. And now I'm good enough. And I have all the tools and learning more tools every day because I'm steady being the best person I can be. Every day I'm practicing being what God wants me to be because I wasn't always like this. I
Mhm.
just want to just tell y'all it's just a journey. Just keep going and keep practicing.
Yeah. My husband thought something was wrong with me. He was like, once you kind of go through something and then you realize your self worth, and as you just said, you don't react to things. You don't be going all off the deep end. You don't be
Yeah.
ready to step out of your shoes on nobody and all of that. He thought I was kind of going cuckoo because I wasn't saying nothing at first. He was like, something's wrong. What's up with her or whatever? But now he has seen my change. And same with my son. He was like, what's wrong with her? What's wrong with
Yeah.
mom? Or whatever. Because you I came up, my parents spiritually. Then, you get on your own, you kind of step yourself to the side or whatever. And when I realized that was what my problem was, that I was not communicating with the Most High every day, that was not in my life. Once I did started that back again and building that relationship with God again, everything changed.
Amen.
Absolutely. And
Everything
that's
changed.
what they say, when you know better, you do better. Thank you all so
Yeah.
much. I want to
Yeah.
acknowledge Nkechi, Cynthia, Spice It with Onwadia is coming all the way from Brazil. We have a very global panel today, and in
Mhm.
the chat, it is very live, a live chat, and people are, please ask your questions. All of these amazing go-getters and achievers on your panel, they have YouTube channels. Please, if you are not connected with them, you have to pick them because they are the best deal you are going to have in 2023. Pick Yaya's Best Life, like the name is, you will find her channel. There's Marlene Motivates. She has a lot of channels. Just go to Marlene Motivates, and then you will get the other channels. And then find boss. Of course, she is my boss. She is my mentor. She is my able coach. And she's the one who is bringing out the best in me. So find all of them, please, and connect with them. You will not regret your time. And that's another amazing of the people that we are growing together with my lovely sister Pandy. All of
Mhm.
us are in team build with Joe. And she just said something, happy Martin Luther King Day. I think this is a divine panel for this day, like this one, that we can have all these amazing people talking about all these amazing things on a day that we are celebrating an amazing person like Martin Luther King. So, Marlene, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me up, Mary. I just wanted to say something just for a moment. I want to speak to the hearts of some women or men that feel like they're in a really dark place in their life. When I was about 16 years old, I was in such a dark place in my life that I tried to commit, you know what word it is. I tried to take myself out. And it wasn't because my family didn't love me, but I wasn't getting love the way that I needed to receive love. See, I come from a Caribbean family, and in Caribbean families, they don't say the words, I love you, I care about you. Their way of saying, I love you is you got a roof over your head, you have food to eat, so you should be good. And that wasn't good enough for me because the age where I grew up in the 80s, all they talked about is communication, expressing how you feel. And if you're surrounded by people who never express how they feel about you, and then you go to school and you're bullied and they say that they hate you, so it's like if you're hated at school, you're hated at home. Well, I wasn't hated, but I felt like I was hated. It makes you feel, then why am I here? Then what is my place in this world? And I had to learn from myself. I had to go down deep inside and find out who I was and who what did God have for me? What was my place in this life? And I didn't know at the time. I tried 3 or 4 times to kill myself. I tried 3 or 4 times, and every time God interceded by bringing somebody in my life. One time I had the, knife up to my throat and was trying to, at that moment, I even got the scar still on my neck where was cutting my throat. And someone came and banged on the door and said, I got to use the bathroom. So every time God interceded because he needed me to share my story with others and let them know that you could be in a dark place and don't let your life or your worth be defined by how other people treat you or the amount of love that people pour into you. And that's a lot of wisdom in that. And I'm speaking from experience. I was saying I was only worth it because of the people in my life, how they were treating me. And I had to learn that I had to start loving myself how I was, not by what other people, because I believe my mom and my dad and everybody else. Imagine, I come from a family, I'm the 10th child. My parents were busy. They didn't have the time to pour into me where I needed to be. So I had to learn to love myself and to find God's love within me. So I'm speaking to those people who feel like they're in that dark place and they feel that nobody cares about them, and you're not getting what you deserve in your romantic relationships. Never let your life be defined by other people. You have to define your love for yourself. So regardless of who you're with, romantic relationship or not, you have to be your own best friend. And I had to be in therapy for 7 years before I could come to that realization. I was blaming everybody else for what they had done to me. But what had I done for myself? Had I learned to love myself? Had I accepted myself? Had I known my worth and my power? And sometimes I say that with tears, but today I'm saying it with courage and strength because I'm speaking up for the voiceless. So whoever this message needs to reach, the parents, children, preteens, anybody who is feeling like they're in a dark place in their life, I'm telling you that it gets better when you love yourself and you become your own best friend. I had to learn to love myself and to be my own friend, that it doesn't matter who is in your life, who leaves your life, how other people treat you. I had to have that acceptance that I'm okay. I'm okay by myself and for who I am and for what I have to say. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
Amen, amen, amen.
It is so beautiful, and I love you all. I love you all, the people in the chat, for coming to this conversation, because these are the kind of conversations that build you up. Love yourself. That's why I did the video on the 10 cleverly insane, cleverly gifts that you can give to yourself. And the link to that video is in the description below this live stream. Once you know how to gift yourself and the things that you are capable of, you are going to become unstoppable. And Marlene, we were talking about that time in everybody's life where one thing happens to turn it to be a turnaround for you. One thing happens to open your eyes. Sometimes they say you go and hit yourself on the wall and your head becomes open. That's something that we say in Africa. That you hit your head, and that's when your head opens and you become more knowledgeable. And that's why when you are a person who always focuses on becoming your best version, you see all these things, you learn, and you optimize them to just keep growing. And it's so beautiful when you share your story. I am really so proud of you. Everybody in the chat, you can see that. And I know that even the people who are going to watch the replay, they are going to be so proud of you that you decided to learn. to pick the lessons and to grow from them, because that is where there is always a missing link. Most of the time, people fall, and they don't know how to pick themselves up. They don't know how to pick themselves up to start again. And that is why we are here. And that is the beauty of, Yaya said it, that YouTube has given a platform where we have so many things to learn from. You don't really need to go to any school. You have to just decide, be willing to learn and grow, and you will have every, this is free coaching you're giving here. So people don't need to even go pay therapy sometimes, so, because most often we don't have the money. And then we, like I always share with everybody, I don't come from a society that knows a lot about therapy. So we don't go for therapy, we don't go to a therapist. We are in prayers, we are in we rely mostly on prayers. But when I learned the advantage of having a coach, or of going for therapy, or of having a mentor, or of having a community, I am finding a community of people that will build me up. I am finding a community of people that are like-minded. I am looking for a coach that is doing, that has already accomplished what I'm trying to do now, and she would she is teaching me from her own experience. And they will always say experience is the best teacher. That is not a joke. Everybody, we have our own different experiences, but underneath, we are human beings, and we absolutely are the same in so many ways. And that's why they always say there can be unity in diversity. We are so diverse, but we are unified in being humans. And so I am really so thankful for all you sharing today. I want to acknowledge the people in the chat who are coming in. Merci Space, bonjour ma soeur, j'espère que tu vas bien aujourd'hui. She is from France. And there's True Mamle, who is dialing in from England. We have a lot of, it's a very international conversation today. And we have our one and only Chief Networking and Connection Officer, Miss T with the T. You are welcome, Miss T. 4K road trips, you are welcome. And everybody else, please, if I didn't mention you, MLW Fishing Man, and everybody, if I didn't mention you, know that I see you, I celebrate you, and I am very proud that today I can say I am enough, and that I attract just the best people. And that's why you are all here, and that's why we are all here. Thank you, Misty. You know that whatever is happening here, you are always in the background to make it work. So I thank you, ladies. We talk a lot about understanding your self-worth, and and boss really clearly defines what is self-worth for us, which is the value that you place on yourself and your abilities. And so when you finish with self-worth being the first thing, when you recognize that you are enough, the second thing, self-confidence. Self-confidence is something that we really build. And most often, we build the self-confidence, and then we are divided between what will people think, and what you want. And that always derails so many people. And also, that's why many people just fall off, because they are more focused on what will people think, instead of what am I worth, and what is within me that I can give. Like my other coach will say, everybody has Michael Jordan level talents at something. So when you first start by recognizing your worth, the next thing, self-confidence. Hi, VS, you are so welcome. And so I want to throw it to the panel. What is your thought about self-confidence? What do you think about self-confidence? You can go in any order.
Okay. Um, well, it depends on when you ask me in my life. When I was younger, I thought confidence was based on the way others treated you. As I grew up and matured and found my way and my own self worth, confidence is what you believe about yourself and the action that you put forth in the world. So when you know who you are and you know your worth, there's nothing that you can't step out and do. That's my definition of confidence.
Absolutely. Totally agree with you.
Well, for me, self confidence is just knowing my self worth, and that comes again from loving yourself and accepting yourself, and continue to grow and learn new things, and just know who you are. And a lot of, I'm going to say this and I'm going to be quiet because I know if I get to talking, that's going to be it. But
We need it. We need it, coach. We need it.
a lot of my self confidence came when I realized what Yaya said. I needed God in my life. A lot of my self confidence came when I said, God, I surrender. I mean, I surrender. What do you want me to do? Because see, I know if God went first in my life, then I was going to be okay. Because if he moved to the right, I was moving to the right. If he moved to the left, I was moving. If he said go straight, I know I'm protected. So a lot of my confidence comes from knowing who I am. I'm a precious child of God. And all of that makes me love myself and want to learn and change and be a better person. I'm done.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I agree. I'm a piggyback on Marlene and what Gio has said. Everything they said, I agree 100%. And also, sometimes society kind of makes us feel like we should be a certain way. Uh, I came up soon after, women was burning their bras or whatever. So it was all about being about being I'm every woman. And then working in a professional environment, and they was teaching you to act this way, and to be successful, you had to speak this way and carry yourself this way. I had that, plus you have what you were taught when you were growing up. But when you take all of that and you recognize, you are able to pull out the good in everything in life by you valuing what you have learned and what you have been taught, and then you can become yourself. I'm not a follower. I used to think that was bad to say. It's it's okay to be a leader of yourself, a leader of your life. And I had to learn also to not try to bring everybody with me. If they were meant to come by your behavior, they they're going to follow for their benefit within themselves. So yeah, it's just kind of, I don't know, this is just, I don't want to start crying and acting all crazy or whatever, but this is just the most amazing conversation, because even this on this day is bringing strength to me. I mean, I woke up this morning, I'm cool, I'm good, I'm feeling fine, I got up doing my little things or whatever. But now i'm I'm about 4 flights higher just from this conversation with you ladies. So, I appreciate and thank you and all the comments that came in here. Yeah, we grow every day. I'm gonna be like Gio because I'm done.
I am so loving this conversation. You seeing the comments that are you seeing the comments that I'm putting on the screen? Misty says, yes, yeah, yeah. Society tends to make you feel as if you are not following the trend, and you need to and how you need to act. If you step outside the box, you are looked at as a follower. I am not a follower also. You are not alone. I am also not a follower. It is okay to be a leader. I love that statement because, especially like as women, I would say this without blinking. As women, we were never taught, and Yaya, I totally understand what you're saying because I grew up in the same age era like you. We were taught to just be behind. It is okay to be a leader. I am so proud of that statement, and I am so happy that you are saying it. And please, the people who are coming to watch this replay, listen carefully to these people, to these women in the panel who are so full of wisdom. They have achieved, they have learned, they have grown, and they have achieved. Connect with them and learn a lot. I want to welcome Batas. Thank you for listening. And our own motivation from the weightlifting geek, one of the backbones of our community. We have a community of people who are nothing but focused on building each other up. Okay, Maggie is my sister she lives in France, and that's why you hear us speaking in French. C'est bien, ma sœur, tu prends ton temps et on est ensemble. That's the only thing that we gain from French, from being a French colony, the language. We are using our lemons to make lemonade. Absolutely, Misty. Be yourself and spread positivity. It is okay to be different. Absolutely. And it is even more important to be different because we think that when we don't fit in, we are not. I used to think like that. Like we always say, we are learning. I am learning. I really used to think and struggle to fit in. And that costed me a whole lot of almost half of a lifetime to try to fit in. That's why I thought that as a divorcee who did not have children, I was I was not worthy and I did not bring value, despite all the good things that I was doing. And despite the fact that I am an amazing auntie to many nieces and nephews, I really just was thinking about I have to have my own children. And then I was so stressed. I and then at the end of the day, even though society was thinking that way, most of those limitations, I placed them on myself because I can tell you, my family had no idea, my immediate family, that I was going through that kind of stress and mental torture. They just love me the way I am. Nobody expected me to be perfect. I am not perfect. It's only God who is perfect. They just love me the way I am. But I was so focused on fitting in, not knowing that I was born to stand out. And once I recognized that I was enough and that I just had to stand out on my own abilities, I became a butterfly and now I am unstoppable. So I
Mary,
really
Mary,
acknowledge.
I just wanted to add something to that. Like when I was growing up, I don't know anybody who grew up in the 80s like I did. During the time, the 80s and 90s, there was so much things about, the melanin, the color of your skin. When you were in school, I was too light for the black people, but I was too dark for the white people. So I never felt like I fit in, because they were like, oh, around the white people, you don't, I wasn't accepted because my skin color. And then with the black people, oh, you don't seem like you're black because you don't talk like a black person. So I always felt, anywhere I went, I never felt like I fit in. And I remember one of my teachers saying, but Marlene, you just be yourself. It's not about who accepts you. It's about you being yourself, and the right people will be drawn to you. And I think that's one of the first conversations in my life where I thought, hmm, how about I just be myself? Because you're not always going to get people to like you. People aren't going to like you. You just need to be yourself. And it was like the first time in my life I felt like there's permission. You have permission to just be yourself, however you talk, however you act, whoever you are. You just be that. And like my dad always said, and you do whatever it is that you're doing, do it to the highest degree. Be excellent at whatever it is that you do. So I had to stop putting my head down and holding my head up and saying, this is who I am, and who likes me is going to like me, and who doesn't like me, that's their problem.
Sorry, there's a little noise here. That's why I keep muting. That part, I can tell you, I don't think it's up to 15 years ago that I started walking with my head high. Literally, most of my life, I walk with my head bent, feeling that I was not worthy. I was really doing a lot of amazing professional things, but I was walking with my head bent. And I'm so happy that I learned that I have to keep my head high and just be me. And you said something. Once you share your story, you identify the people you are called to serve. You're not going to serve, you are not called to serve everyone. Like boss always says, this might not be for everybody, but it is for somebody. So you can't serve everyone, but there is someone that you are called to serve. And that is the person that you are focused on. And really, once you accept, you really learn all of these little, they are little things, but they are so important. Because why do a lot of people, I'm really sorry to say it, a lot of people commit suicide just because 90% of the reason is what people think. If we could only understand that it is about us, it is about recognizing that I am enough, it is about treating myself like someone that I love, it will be much easy. It will be much easy. I want to recognize the board files, and I don't know, many people came in the chat. The chat is so busy. My cousin David Corey, you are always welcome. Thank you for the support, for always being there. And I'm really so happy, ladies, that we are sharing this beautiful conversation, because it is really, Yaya already pointed out, and that's why we are here. It is a very useful conversation. It is really necessary, because a lot of people, they can't do better because they don't know better. And YouTube is so accessible that you don't need a lot to access all of these positive conversations. Like when you look at the chat, my sister Triple Threat, I acknowledge you, sis. I love you. And she's saying that I was, I said I was a misfit, and I'm okay with that. When you say it to yourself and you are okay with it, you are responsible for you. And that is why when you think about your life, whatever somebody brings in is a bonus. And whatever somebody can input in your life is a bonus. What can I input? When you want to find help, how far can I carry me before I am looking for help? And that's why they always say, know your strengths. Use your strengths. When you have your strengths have carried you as far as you can go, now you know exactly the kind of help that you want. Misty said, I was the same in my younger years. I just wanted to fit in. It was so much work trying to fit in and keep up with trends. What do you ladies think about it? We've said it again, we've said it, but I really want us to talk about fitting in, because society is so, the constraints are so many that it is stopping so many people and just limiting so many people. I really want us to talk about it a little bit again.
I took a note over here when somebody was talking, and I wrote down society and I wrote down history. And those two things can take you down a path that, well, there's a good and there's a bad with it, you know. And as I had said earlier about society, you know, that's a trend, following the trend. And our history has made us think something about ourselves as well, you know. When Marlene was talking about, you know, our skin color, or I remember being young and I didn't like my lips, you know, they was too big. All of that negative, there's a lot of negativity that can feed into you, you know. I grew up in Kansas, you know, and being dark skinned, so you have that, and then you got your parents teaching you what they want to teach you, that's supposed to be positive, and then you think you've grown, so then you leave home and then you go out there into the big world, and it really bombards you with a whole bunch of positive and negative. But again, it falls back to figuring out who you are as a person and finding that balance in life. It may not be the same what society said, it may not be the same what history said, and it may not be everything that our parents taught us. But if we can take just those three, and pull the positiveness out of them and put it within ourselves, along with the Almighty, everybody will be glowing like you three ladies are glowing on here, because you know who you are. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at you guys, and I'm looking at Marlene, and I listened to her story and I felt some kind of way about it, but I'm looking at her now, and I mean, she's glowing. She's all that and a bag of chips. You know what I'm saying? Because she knows who she knows. Well, how does that say? And they say, I knows who I am. You know, she knows who she is. And I feel that way too. I'm not to say that there's not days that, you know, we don't have down days, but I feel good where I am right now in my life, you know, from all of my experiences. And I don't have to go follow everybody out there. I'm just going to say this one quick thing. I moved from the Pacific Northwest to Florida 3 years ago when I had retired. And my dad will call and he's like, you know, are you making friends, this and that. Now, when I was a kid, it was about not having a whole bunch of girlfriends, you know, staying in the family. But then now I'm old and grown, you know, he's like, well, are you making friends there? And I said, it's not that I'm not making, I said, no, I'm not making friends. He says, well, everybody needs friends. I do have friends. When we go and y'all see us always out at the beach, I get to running off at the mouth. I meet ladies out there and we chit chat and all this, that, and the other. And a few times we've exchanged phone numbers. Neither one of us, we haven't called each other. But my point to it to what I'm trying to say is I know who I am. I don't have to go out and make a whole bunch of friends. I don't have to have somebody to go shopping with me. I have a whole husband. I be trying to leave him sometimes so I can go on my own. But I have a whole husband if I want to go do something with. I have about four BFFs, not in this state, but and then I have three sisters. If I want to talk, that's my circle. That's who I call, that's who I talk to. And if I'm at the grocery store now, you might catch me in the grocery store, and me and the lady or two, we standing over there buying groceries and chit-chatting. But I don't have to go out and follow in behind everybody. I know what I like, I know what I want to do, and I'm glad I am where I am in my life. And it feels so good to not be thinking, oh, I want that person to be my friend, or oh, I like how that person looks or whatever, and I want to be like that. I am who I am, and I get to meet nice people like you guys.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay. Not fitting in, child, please. Okay, because I know what I wanted to be since I was 7 years old, and that was always an entrepreneur. Because I saw my daddy never worked for anybody, and I wanted to go to bed when I wanted to go to bed, and I wanted to get up when I wanted to get up. But I like coins. That's money. Okay. And I know I had to have my own business really to really do make coins like I want to make them. Okay, so let me just tell y'all this story. The reason why I know that I'm not a follower, I am a leader, because and I don't try to fit in here and there, and I don't care what people say because Geo gonna be Geo. And when I went to therapy, I really don't care. Okay, all right, my dad, I used to hide behind the car because he was a mechanic. And he used to tell my brothers how to take care of their families and all of this stuff, and how to have a business, okay, and how to make a lot of money and stuff like that. And I used to say to myself, I want to do that too. So I remember one day he came in the house and he was just sitting on the couch watching TV. And I went over there and I said, "Hey, Daddy, what's up?" He said, "What's up? What you want to know? You always want to know something." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I heard you out there telling the boys what how to take care of their family and have a own business or their own business." I said, "Well, what should the girls do?" He said, "Well, y'all should find y'all a husband and have babies and have them take care of y'all." I mean, I'm not having no 8 kids. No, ma'am. My mama had 8 kids, stayed at home, and took care of all of them. I said, "Well, that don't fit my agenda, Daddy. Bye." See, I knew right then and there that I was not trying to fit into that mold of finding a husband, doing it's nothing wrong with having a husband. I'm not saying that. But for me, I wanted my own business. I wanted to do what my father was doing. Even though all my three of my brothers are great mechanics, they had their own business. I wanted the same thing. But back then, it was like a woman, all you need to do is just find a husband to take care of you and have kids. Child, please, I have one kid. That hurt so bad, I don't want no more. Okay? So, so for me, and I used to always wonder why I have to be different from people. Women would say, "Well, all you need is a man." No, 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 no. I want my own business. I want to have my own money. I didn't want to fit in. So at least that part. But when I really got the therapy, oh, I mean, when I found out how to really love myself and I could have all of these things, baby, I went for it. I was in my third. I did not miss an appointment because that's how bad I wanted to work for myself. So this fitting in stuff, I'm never gonna fit in. I just fit in with Geo and the Holy Spirit, Jesus, and God. I'm good.
You're muted, Coach Mary.
You did so well for yourself, girl, and I am really so proud of you because it I know what it is. It's not easy to stand up against your parents, and especially like it's not like the children nowadays where they don't even want to listen and they have their own things and I know what it means to have grown in that age where you just had to listen and you had to do what your parents wanted. And I want to acknowledge the presence of there is my sister from Ghana, Ed Varieties, and some other person came in, Angela's Gardening Delight, and everybody who is coming in, I acknowledge you, and all of you who are in the chat, so busy. I really love the messages and your participation in the chat. I'm putting the messages on the screen. I don't know if you're seeing them, but it's so encouraging because everybody is so focused on becoming, because we have acknowledged that we are enough. And Joe, I will tell you that I instead had the opposite of your experience. I grew up in the era where my mom, she was more intelligent than the brothers, but stay they had to remove her from school because the father could not pay school fees for all the children because she was a woman. And then they let her brothers go to school, and she is so intelligent. I can tell you that I inherited her intelligence. I am proud of that. And the children that she had and the grandchildren, my mother was so intelligent that she vowed that her girls were going to go to school and have the kind of jobs that they wanted. And I can tell you without even a single doubt that in my family, I can see that trend. The women are more, I would say they are more successful because there was so much focus. My mother had five boys and three girls. There was so much focus on the girls being able to have their own jobs and take care of themselves because we did not know a lot about entrepreneurship. She put her focus on her girls. And in my family in general, you can look at that. The girls are not the type that stay behind. I'm sorry for all the guys out there. And that's why sometimes as an African or like somebody coming from Cameroon, I understand clearly why I am a two-time divorcee, because I couldn't fit into what those guys would want to put me in. And I can tell you that in the two times that I'm divorced, I am the one who moved out. I'm really proud to say that. I don't wink when I say it. I am the one who left. They helped me, but I left before they could even get a lot out of my out of me. Even if the second time I was really more stressed after the divorce because I didn't see it coming. But the first time I saw it and I said, hey, you stop there. I'm not going to accept any polygamy because I have to stay and whatever. You stay there. You can have as many women you want, who can have as many children you want. I am not going to be there. And so most for the two times I am the one who left. I left and I am like Tori would say, I said it and I am not taking it back. I left and I am proud of myself that I left. It's really so interesting when you share experiences. Hi, Shinas Kito, you are welcome. Everybody who is coming, Warm Strong Adventures. I am so blessed to have you that you let your cruising ships to come and hang out with us today. I'm very blessed to have all of you. It is so important to recognize your self-worth and treat yourself like the person you love. And like Marlene already said, we have said it repeatedly, become your best friend. Just be your best friend and make you your hero, because when you set that standards, everybody who is coming up or who is associating with you, they know your standards. And either they really come up to your standards, you are not going to drop to theirs. They better come up to your standards, You don't have any time to be going down to fit in or to meet people where they are. You have your standards. If they want you, they come up and meet you where you are. And that is always so important. And that can only happen when you recognize that you are enough. Because they say only you can create the things you want for your life. No one else is going to do it for you. It's you who has to create it. And once you are ready to create it, there's always help. You can find help everywhere you want. And thank you, brothers. But don't be a bad girl. Don't go out of your marriages. Don't live like I left. Except except when you see that it's no longer serving you, then you can leave. I saw that it was no longer serving me. I didn't just wait until it came. It was no longer serving me, and boy, bye. And I left. I might not be the best example, but I am talking from my own experience. I had to leave. I no longer fit here, and so you
Mhm.
stay there and find people. Oh my goodness.
I love the boy bye.
um,
I will tell you some story. I have a lot of stories. The second time I was married in Maryland. I got married in the court in Montgomery. And the guy, he's Cameroonian, but he's American, but from Cameroon. And he was busy telling everybody, oh no, she's going to come over. Who doesn't like to come to America? Blah blah blah. So I'll come and eat shit in his house. Let me not say say something that Whitey would censor my video. And I said, but what is he talking about? I started going to America before I got married to him. He thinks he's the one who is taking me there. I said, okay, you're going to stay there and wait for long. There's a saying in Africa. I don't know if you guys. I don't know. You guys know the coconut, right? Because I know that most often you go buy the coconut. Do you buy coconut and there's water inside, right?
Mhm.
For people who know coconut in Africa, somebody will tell you that if you dare me, I will teach you how coconut came to have water inside.
I don't understand.
The coconut is, except you break it before you will see the water. But the person says they will teach you how that water got in there without somebody breaking it to put it inside.
Um,
So then you know that you are in real trouble. Oh my goodness. Yes, cousin.
Mary, let me tell y'all about, you were speaking about accepting. What was the thing? Fitting in? Is that
You
what we were talking
you
about?
stand
Fitting
out
in?
instead of just fitting in
Yeah.
when you know that you cannot fit in.
Yeah. So how I was raised, coming from a big family, I'm number 10. I'm the 10th child. And of course, as my dad would say, of course, the last child always has to challenge everything. All my other siblings, they fall in line, they listen to what my parents say, and I was the child that wanted to know why, how, when, where, who's going to be there. So I needed to know. That was just me. So of course, when I got to school and I saw how everybody was like, if one person got this kind of genes, then they would say, I got to get those genes. I wasn't that girl. I was proud of what I came from. I came from Jamaican parents. I know my parents didn't have the money. So if somebody only liked me if I had Levi jeans, then those, I already knew those weren't my people. And I was, like I said before, I was bullied in school because I didn't have the most up-to-date clothes. And I was always unique. And I used to cut my shirts up and wear different kinds of patterns together. I've always walked to the beat of my own drum and been different. So I never was trying to fit in. And I'm glad that I never tried to fit in because that would have made me miserable. So that's where I was in my life. My issue was learning to just not be let myself be defined by other people. I think when you have so many brothers and sisters, you always want your brothers and sisters and your parents to give you love the way you need to receive love. And because I didn't get that, I thought that I wasn't loved, where in fact they were just showing me love in their own way. When I went through therapy is when I learned that there's more than one type of love language. And that's what helped me, because they were, when I started to look at all the love languages, I started to see that they loved me, but their love was in gifts, in buying things for you. And for me, my love is in actions. Like, you got to do something, acts of service. So I had to learn and identify that I had to be okay with who I was and stop trying to shape people and mold people to what I wanted them to be. Just like I wanted to be accepted for who I was, I had to learn to accept other people the way they were. And that was really difficult for me because, you know, I don't know, it's a thing, like you want to be in control of the way people are, and you can't do that. You'll drive yourself crazy. So I had to learn to let go and to let people just be themselves instead of trying to shape and mold myself to the way other people needed me to be, because I'm just a really giving person. I think when you come from a big family, you just have to learn how to give to other people, but also learn to give to yourself. And that was a big issue that I had. I was always giving until my cup was completely empty. And I had to learn to stop doing that and to stop, fulfilling other people and start getting in line with my own goals and my own hopes. And I still do that sometimes. And I have to say, Marlene, you're getting off track, but yeah, stop trying to fit in and try to work on your stuff first. And then what you have left, then I give that to other people. But, life is a learning process. And I learned that now, to not give 100%, save the top part for me, and anything that runs over that cup, then I'll give that to them.
You are right. You are on the right track. And I really am so honored. Thank you, David. David says you all are very beautiful, spirited women. Thank you so much. We accept it and we are proud to be what we are because we have accepted that we are enough. We have recognized our self worth and we are loving ourselves first, and then we can love people from our overflow. It is really so, so important when you already know that you are worthy. It enables you to find your potential because you are just focused on becoming better, and you are focused on finding that one thing that you are good at and doing it so well that you will stand out. There's even such difficult thing trying to fit in because sometimes you really, the energy you use to fit in is so much more than the energy that you just be you. Just be authentic. Maggie says, me too, I have the same problem, but I'm seriously working on that. And I'll tell you, Maggie, we are all a work in progress. Every time, every new day is a new opportunity to learn more and to become better. We are a work in progress. Nobody would, we are all becoming until we go. We are becoming. Every new day we are becoming. We are becoming. And that's why it is so important to have your open mind to learn and grow. And when you accept that you are enough, it's easy for you to learn because you know what you are good at, you know what you need help with, and you are laser clear and focused on just becoming your best. Pandi says, right, we got to meet people where they are and go from there. Absolutely. Sometimes it's so, people will just think that What will people say about me? And I can tell you, no matter what you do, people will always, someone somewhere would still have something to say about you. Even people you don't know, people you don't even know they exist, they think that they know your life, that they they know you like a book, like somebody says, they know you like a book. People will always talk and people will always criticize you because some people cannot see beauty. All they can see is negativity. Leave them where they are. That is their problem. That is their business. Your business is to be you, to do you, and your first job of doing you, recognizing your self-worth, accepting you just the way you are. Because yours truly, when you accept you, you are happy, you are blessed, you are just motivated and positive because you don't spend your life struggling to fit in. No, you just blossom. You just blossom. I'm talking to anybody who is at the space of their time now where they think that they have, where they are giving up because they think that they have failed because they failed at one thing. You you just failed at something that you were not good enough in it, or that at that time in your life you didn't know how to find help. And when you know the importance of finding help, that is a big game changer for you because you are capable of doing anything you want. You take yourself as far as you can go and then you find help for the remainder. Just be yourself and take yourself as far as you can go. Find help where you need help. And I will really plead with the people in the chat and those who are watching the replay, please connect with all these marvelous, phenomenal achievers in the panel. They will give you your time's worth when you watch their videos, when you listen to them. It is quality time because you are going to get quality motivation. You're going to get quality messages that are going to really help you. Boss says, I don't know how to change no oil, but my dad was the best mechanic in our community. But I know how to change a tire and jumpstart my car. That is responding to David. And yours truly, you cannot be good at everything. You know your own things that are useful for you. You don't need to know how to change it, or you don't need to be a good mechanic like your dad. You are a good person, you are a good boss, you are a good leader, you are a good business and accomplished businesswoman, and you are doing you, and that's why you are so perfect at it. Because why? You recognize your worth and you worked on your strengths. Somebody is asking if they can ask a question. Yeah, Yuri Nu, you say, can I ask a question? Of course, you can ask a question if it is within, if it is a question that will bring positivity. And what's he asking? Okay. Oh, absolutely. I know Joe. Joe is our motivation with the weightlifting geek. If that's the very Joe you're talking about, then we are in the same community. Thank you so much for following his recommendation and for coming. And I am happy that you came in with all these phenomenal women sharing every experience that okay. Okay, now I get you. Thank you for coming.
Coach Mary.
Yes.
Oh, I wanted to just throw out here too, if we're busy looking at somebody else and trying to figure them out, to me, that's a problem, because we all have our own story, and we can only really truly tell our own story. You know what I'm saying? So we have moved ourselves down the road of gossiping if we are in someone else's business. That's how, wait a minute, let me back up. I'm just giving my opinion. That's how I would look at it. You know what I'm saying? I can only tell my story. It's not for me to tell anybody else's story. So if I'm trying to be all up in your life and worry about what you looking like and what you doing, then I've messed up already. That's Carla's opinion.
You are very right, Yaya, and that's why we are saying that we don't want to be like a lot of amazing people who walk around feeling so insignificant and troubled, and are sad because they don't recognize their self-worth. And when they say you recognize your self-worth, it can only be you. You can recognize Marlene's, Joe's. You recognize the talents that they have, which they are giving because they recognize their worth and their potential, and they are optimizing it. And so it is not your job, it is not my job to know Yaya's worth or to know Yaya's. My job is to benefit from what Yaya is good at, that can complete the things that I cannot do. I don't know if I explain it very well. Our job is to find out or take ourselves to as far as we can go, and then find help for the people who know the things that we cannot do. And that is why when you know your self-worth and you accept that you are enough, finding help is not difficult for you, because you know that you are capable of doing so many things, and that's the only things that you need. I know where to find help from. And it is so important to know where to find help from, because there are so many things out there. And that's why when you start by saying I am enough and recognizing your self-worth, you are clear on the things that you are strong, or your strengths. You will not waste time finding help from someone who can do the very things that you can do. Now you are finding help from someone who is doing something that you want, which you have a challenge at doing. And that's why they say loving yourself is a true act of bravery. And when you love yourself, no one can profit from your insecurities, because why? Every insecurity that you have, you know where to look for the help. I want to come back to these comments, and I want to say thank you, Yuri. I know the Joe who knows me personally. Thank you, brother, for being my supporter and for always being there for me. Oh my goodness, I'm so really loving this conversation, and I'm really so grateful, because when I thought about this topic today, I most of the times my topics come up with what people are challenged with and how I can help. What value can I bring to the challenges that people are facing? And I knew that a lot of people are really challenged, and all of you here are proof that this is a necessary conversation. Sometimes it's really difficult because people really don't know where to start. They don't even know what to do, and then they don't. Once you don't know where to start, you really waste a lot of time. You don't know what to do. You also waste so much of your time just going round and round, like what they call it, a hamster wheel. You're going round and round, doing the same things, having not having the results that you want, and then not knowing what to do. And that is why it is so important. Know yourself, find your potentials, and then you know where and what you need help with. And I'm so grateful for all the people in the chat who have been so participative, who have been so like, yes, this thing is something that we need to talk about because we are all in it. You're welcome, the jewelry spot and one busy mama. Thank you for stopping by. I greatly appreciate you coming by for this conversation about just accepting and acknowledging and recognizing that you are enough, because it means you recognize your self-worth and you treat yourself like the person you love. And then you don't want to be like one of those many people who go around feeling insignificant, unloved, and unhappy because you think that you are not enough. Meanwhile, everything that you need, you already have it, and it is within you. It is just left for you to work on you. And most of the time, once you start working on you, all those things come out by themselves, because you have to, like they say, it's when you are challenged that you really bring out your best. Because why? You just need to dig deep. And once you are challenged, you dig deep. How am I going to get out of this? And then the more you dig, you see that, oh, I could do it. But when you don't challenge yourself, you don't know how powerful, how brave, and how much value you have. And then you go and you're wasting your energy and just dying inside, where I'm not good enough. People might not think that, or people might think that. Don't worry what people think, because people will always think what you don't think. And sometimes, like somebody said, people don't even think what we think. You think people think, and maybe you ask the person, that is not what they were thinking. Just imagine all that energy thinking what people think about you. I want to think what people think about me. It's not worth your energy. It's not worth your time. And so focus on yourself. I will never stop saying it. Focus on yourself. It is your first job. It is your responsibility. It is your job. Focus on yourself. Yes, boss. Okay, that's fine. Thank you so much. I am so grateful that you came. Thank you for sharing your journey, for sharing your expertise, and for just sharing yourself. Thank you very much. On behalf of everybody who will watch the replay and those who are in the chat and those in the panel, thank you for your leadership.
Mary, I just wanted to say something about what you were saying earlier about minding people minding their business. And what I had to learn for myself about minding my business. See, a lot of times we're so busy being occupied in what other people are doing that we're failing to launch our own dreams and failing to do what we need to do for ourselves. So it's something that I started about a year or 2 years ago. I'm going to start minding my business. So that means, looking at my health, taking care of what I need to for my finances, and doing all of the things that I need to do for myself. So stop looking what other people are doing and comparing what other people are doing to your life, because your journey in your life is yours. What you have been through, that's your journey. Don't compare it to somebody who's your same age or maybe similar circumstances, because they're not you. They don't live your life. They don't have your struggles. So I had to learn to be accepting of my own business and stop taking my eyes to the side and looking back at the past and say I should be here or there. Minding my business and learning to accept where I am, and what I don't like, be willing to change it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You are so welcome. Hi, Queen. Welcome, and thank you for stopping by. It is so important that you understand that no matter what you do, like we always say, I always say back home in Africa, because that is where I grew up, that is what I know best. In Africa, we speak in proverbs. We speak in proverbs because we are, at first, well, now it's changing. We were predominantly an oral society, so we depended on the oral word than on the written word. And so they speak in proverbs to give you a picture in your mind's eye of what they mean. And that's why we use a lot of proverbs when we are talking. And that's why I always bring those proverbs in when I do my presentations. In Africa, they will tell you, even if you took a shower under the rain, I don't know, people here don't really understand. When we were growing up, we used to go, and when the rain was, it was raining, you see children running under the rain. In Africa, it's very common. Those my brothers and sisters in Africa, they will understand what I'm saying. And then we had the dusty roads, because most of the roads are not tarred. And so they give you a proverb. Even if you took a shower under the rain, your enemy will still accuse you of raising dust. And what do they mean? When they say it like that, you clearly see the picture of what they are meaning. No matter what you do, somebody somewhere will always criticize you. And it is so clear in your mind, because when they put it that way, you say, wow, even if I took a shower under the rain, somebody will still accuse me of raising dust. Because people will always talk. And most of the time, people don't even know you. They don't know your journey, they don't know your story, but they start judging you. They start thinking that they know you, and they start talking about you. That is not your business. That is their business. They have time to waste, and that's something that is you cannot control. It's not within your sphere of control. Don't waste your time and energy, because you will just waste your time. They are not worthy. Like they say, don't even waste your time to explain yourself. Something happened and you tell somebody, and then they want you to explain. Don't worry to explain, because one, if the person is your friend, they don't need any explanation. You just tell them and they understand, yeah, you couldn't do it. And if the person is not your friend, they will not believe what you say. And that's why they say, don't worry about explaining everything, because those who want to believe you, they don't need you to explain. They just want you, they just take your word for it. And those who don't who are not your friends, they will not believe. They say, oh no, she's just talking, that's not true and stuff. So don't explain yourself. Those who are your friends, they don't need any explanations. Those who are not your friends, they will not believe you. And those are the ways that will make you to really, when you think about all these things, you also really understand the importance of the saying, just do you. Just do you. Don't struggle to fit in. Do you, and the people who you are called to serve, they will identify you and follow you. And like Yaya said, you don't need a large following. You just need those people who want your message and who think that their message can help them. It's the same way how when you want help, you are going specifically to the person who is going to complete the things that you have started, and to take you from the level where you have taken yourself further, because they say when you are going alone you can go far, but when you are going together you go further. And so those are the kind of things that make you to see the importance of concentrating on you.
Mhm.
You are your own priority. You take responsibility for your life. You are your own responsibility. And that's why they say take responsibility. When you sit there and you're blaming, oh, the government has done this, society has done that, what have you done? What have you done? Thank you so much, Marlene. Thank you so much, Yaya.
Thank you, Coach Miramar, for letting me come up. I'm gonna let you have the screen back here. Thank you so very much. This was amazing.
I am so grateful for all of you who came up to share with us. I'm going to just round up what we were saying, and thank you so much. Thank you, all of you who have been in the chat and who have been so participative. I really thank all the panelists who came to share their brilliance, to share their coaching, to share their experiences so we can learn from. And thank you so much. Yes, my dear sister, I also enjoyed you all in the chat, and thank you for everything. We are saying today that you have the responsibility to recognize your self-worth and treat yourself like a person that you love, because you are your own responsibility, and you are the one who gives the blueprints to people on how you want to be treated. If you don't recognize your self-worth, people will treat you the way you present yourself. That is why it is so important for you to recognize your self-worth and treat you like someone you love, and just accept that you are enough. Accept that you are what you have been looking for. You don't need to go out there, because why? Everything that you need is within you, and your job is to dig within you to find the answers. So why are you enough again? Only you can create the things you want in your life. No one else is going to do it for you. And once you understand this, it enables you to find your potential, to optimize it, to find that one thing that you have Michael Jordan level talent and at. Optimize it and become your best self. And how do you understand your self worth? First, what is self worth? The value you place on yourself and your abilities, which means self love, self acceptance. You accept you the way you are, and then you keep growing and you continue becoming. And having self worth gives you a healthy sense of your self love, increased confidence, improved relationships, and a great sense of purpose. And what is it to say I am enough? Because you are enough, it means I am capable of anything that I want, because I have every answer within me. They are not saying that you can do everything perfectly on your own. They are saying you have the answers of your strengths that can take you as far as possible, and then you know what kind of help you need. And once you are somebody who accepts that you are enough, you have self worth, you have self confidence. And what is self confidence? Is the belief in your own abilities and in your own worth. And how can you increase your self confidence? By setting realistic goals, practicing positive self talk, and taking risk. Taking risk here is just like getting out of your comfort zone and doing the things that you don't do usually. Don't be a person of habits if they are not giving you the results that you need. You are capable of more. Try to learn new things and get out of your comfort zone and do the things that you think that will make you to grow, because your job is to become a better version of you all the time. And it is important to create a personal plan to recognize your worth and build self-confidence. What are you planning for? You are planning for a better life, or you are planning on how you want your life to be. You are planning because you don't want to remain at the same spot. You are planning because you want to use your potentials to become a better person. And when you stay motivated and committed to your plan, that is how you realize your goals. And that is how you increase your worth. And the most important thing also, when you start increasing your worth, or even when you decide to work on yourself, celebrate success and recognize your process, your progress. Celebrate yourself, recognize your progress. Because why? We said the other day, little wins they multiply to the big wins that we want. So once you start celebrating yourself, experts say what gets celebrated gets repeated. So when you start celebrating yourself, you are in the mood to always succeed, and so you continue multiplying the success. And celebrating yourself means you recognize that you are worthy, and that you are your own best friend, and that you are your own hero. And I share my journey to show you that the highs and lows are both necessary parts of your success story. Drea says, I needed this message. And Pandy says, so glad I was off today and able to catch this live. Great information. Thank you so much, my dear sister. I love you and I appreciate your service and everything that you do. And everyone who is in the chat and those who are watching the replay, I want to thank you so much. Thank you, True Mamle, my sister. And thank you, everybody in the chat, and especially all my phenomenal panelists. I am so blessed to share this special day and this special platform with you on this special day where we are celebrating Martin Luther King. And this is a sign that we acknowledge our self worth and that we know that we are enough. Thank you so much, Queen. I am amazing because I am in the community of amazing people. And like somebody said, show me your friends and I will tell you who you are. And so please connect with each other because we have a lot of things to share. I know most of us are already connected. I know that there's always room for more and more people. My sister L Varieties, I hope you're having a good time starting the new year. I'm sending you lots of love. All of you out there, I'm sending you lots of love. And I want you to take home today. Stop feeling that you are not enough. Stop feeling that you are not enough. Accept you just the way you are and find creative ways of optimizing your talents. You have everything it takes, and everything that you need is already within you. You are enough. Recognize your self worth and treat yourself like someone you love. Because when you treat yourself and when you make yourself like your best friend and your hero, you just give yourself nothing but the best. And you deserve the best. Thank you so much, everybody, and continue to believe in you, believe in your self worth, believe that you are enough, and make your life a success. Thank you so much, Drea. Yes, thank you so much. We are happy to serve. We are happy to serve. We are at the service. And it is when we tell all these stories, share our experiences, that we are attracted to the people we are called to serve. Thank you so much, my dear sisters and brothers. for taking time out of your busy schedules to come and love and support. And I am always so proud that I know that I am enough. And that is the reason why I attract nothing but the best. I am in the business of collecting good people. I am in the business of collecting the best. If you want to collect the best and the good people, hi Fifi's journey, we are getting to the end. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the Okay, Nikki, I will do that. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the people who are coming for the replay. I greatly acknowledge and thank you for everything. Everyone have a great day. Stop feeling that you are not enough. Accept you just the way you are and where you are at your journey, and find creative ways to optimize your talents, because you have everything it takes to be a great person. I love you all. Take care, and always know that you are your best friend. You are your own hero.